And we begin tonight with a Fox 5 exclusive. New polls show Republicans with narrow leads in two major statewide political contests 2.5 months before the election.
The new Fox 5 Insider Advantage poll gives incumbent Governor Nathan Deal a slight edge over Democrat Jason Carter. And in the battle for an open U.S. Senate seat, Republican David Perdue has a lead over Democrat Michelle Nunn. That Senate race is drawing national attention as a key contest in the Republican bid to recapture a Senate majority.
And while the polls suggest Republicans have the advantage right now, they may face runoffs in both contests. Here are the numbers. In the Senate race, Perdue leads Nunn 47% to 40% among likely voters.
The contest for governor is even closer. Nathan Deal leading Jason Carter 43% to 39%. In both cases, Republicans are falling short of the 50% figure they need to avoid a runoff.
And here now to discuss what these numbers mean for the candidates is Fox 5 political analyst Matt Towery. Matt, in the governor's race, both candidates below 45%. So if the election were held today, what do you think would happen?
If the election were held today, I can virtually say the governor's race would go into overtime. We would have a runoff in December. That's because Nathan Deal right now is in the low 40s, and there's a high percentage for that libertarian voter or candidate that's taking away from what normally would be Deal's vote.
What happens what has to happen to make the numbers change at this point?
Well, some things are going to happen. If you look at the crosstabs of this poll, African Americans, about 35%, say they're voting either for Deal or they're undecided. That is going to end up, if history is any proof, is going to end up primarily in the Carter category. At the same time, you still have a percentage of independents who could move over to Nathan Deal. Traditionally, independents in Georgia have voted for Deal or voted Republican. This time, they're split between Carter and Deal, but they're a lot undecided.
All right, let's talk about the Senate race. David Perdue, the Republican, with 47% in your poll. How competitive is that race in your estimation?
It's still competitive for one reason, and that's because the undecided in that race is extremely low. And when you have a very low undecided, that means that Mr. Perdue has very few votes to mine in order to get over 50%. That said, there can be changes there as well.
All right, the role of the libertarian can play a key role in both races.
Absolutely. What we see in years when the public is not happy with elected officials, and all the polls say that, we see libertarians do better in Georgia in the polling. They start off at 8-9%. They come down sometimes to 4 to 3%. If they stay in that 3 to 4% level, it certainly would mean the governor could be in a runoff, and it could possibly still make the U.S. Senate race very close. I might add, in the Nunn race against Perdue, the big issue for Nunn is to try to get male votes. She's not doing well with men. The big issue for Perdue is to get younger voters between the ages of about 30 and 45. 50. They have kids, and he's not doing as well with that group.
All right. 12 years ago, David Perdue's cousin, Sonny Perdue, beat Roy Barnes in the governor's race, and this has been a reliably red state ever since. How reliably red do you think it is now?
It's reliably red if turnout is like it has been in the past few years and if the Republicans run a very strong race.